it actually uses less energy to come back to your bliss state because that's where your body wants to be. What can I change here to make this more supportive for myself? This episode of Soul Care Secrets is brought to you by the Held Ritual. This is a somatic ceremony where you release stress and soften into you. It feels like a big, juicy bear hug and helps regulate your nervous system using pleasure. If you want to join, all you need to do is click the link in the description below and you can have instant access today. Let yourself be held, angel. Let's talk about one of the easiest ways for you to stay in your bliss field, for you to stay in the pleasure field. And this has to do with your relationship to stress and to actually set yourself up for success with the stress in your life. Because the reality is, as a human, there are going to be stressors. This work is not about never being stressed. It's not about never being triggered. It's not about always being in bliss. However, what it is about is it's building your capacity for more. So you can actually handle more stress without getting overwhelmed, without getting burned out, without going into the numbing patterns or the suppressing patterns or the disassociation patterns or the shutdown patterns that invite you and have you really disconnect from yourself and from others in your relationships, in your work, in your life, in your friendships, all of it, right? So that's really what we are diving into today, is how you can support yourself in how you're relating to stress and the stress that is in your life so you have that capacity to navigate it with so much more ease. And when you do that, you will be more and more and more in the bliss field, in the pleasure field. Yes, beautiful. Before we get into the practice, I want to remind you that stress is not inherently bad. There is good stress and there is bad stress. And so the good stress, which is typically referred to as eustress, eustress, that is the kind of stress that you would experience during a workout, where you are stressing out your muscles, you are stressing out your heart, you are stressing out your body. And the result of that is you become healthier, fitter, and stronger. And so in the same way that I work with clients where we are stressing out their nervous system very intentionally so it becomes stronger, that allows you to have the capacity to handle more of life, to have more resiliency. With resiliency simply being your ability to come back into homeostasis, to come back into your center, to come back to the bliss field with so much more ease, where it actually uses less energy to come back to your bliss state because that's where your body wants to be. That's where your nervous system wants to be. Like that is its home base. So that's what we are cultivating here. Yes. So just breathe with me because I'm going to share a practice with you that is going to help you create the clarity of what actions you need to take in order to support yourself, your heart, your body, and your nervous system with the stress that is in your life. Because life is not about, as I said, it's not about having no stress. There will be stressors. It's about your capacity to handle them. So I want to share a metaphor with you that one of my teachers shared with me, and I find it's a really helpful way to visualize this whole conversation, to understand what it is like to have a stronger nervous system, to expand our capacity, and what it is like to work with the stressors in our life. And so imagine that you have a pool, and this pool is full of beach balls, like those big, colorful, round beach balls. Imagine that this pool is full of those. And so when this pool is full of all those beach balls, there is no room to swim around, right? And so these beach balls are the stressors in your life. And so one way to expand your capacity to navigate the stressors in your life is to remove those beach balls, right? That is one way of working with stress in your life, is to reduce the amount of stressors that you have. And sometimes some of those stressors are unavoidable. There's only so much we can control in life. Like life happens. There are things that are unavoidable that will occur. And those stressors, you can't remove those beach balls from your pool. So the other part of the work that we're doing in building your capacity and strengthening your nervous system is actually creating a bigger pool. So when you have a bigger pool, you can have the same exact amount of beach balls in it, of stressors in it, but you can still swim around because there's more spaciousness. And so the magic is when you combine both of those, when you reduce the avoidable stressors, when you take away the things that you can control, when you shift the things that you can control, you'll have more space. And also when you strengthen your nervous system, when your nervous system becomes stronger through pleasure, through intentionality, right? Through using these pleasure practices that I share with you, that combination helps you to become so powerful. that helps you to become unstoppable, because then you're not getting as triggered by the things in your life, right? Some extra beach balls come in, some unexpected triggers come in, some unexpected stressors come into your life. You have more capacity to handle them, and you won't get as overwhelmed or even overwhelmed by them. You have the spaciousness to keep on swimming. So the practice that I'm sharing with you is one of my favorite, and I refer to it as the energy inventory. So my invitation for you is to write this down with pen and paper. I find that really just having it pen to paper, like making it physically tangible, already reduces and minimizes a lot of the stress around it. But you can also just do this on your phone in a note. The most important thing is that you are simply doing it, because building this awareness around what is draining you, what is invigorating you, and then having action steps based on that is going to be the most supportive thing for you in staying in your bliss field, in your pleasure field. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is to write a list of all of the things that are energetically draining you, all of the things that are stressing you out. Now, these can be things that, you have to do every day. They're just part of your responsibilities. They're part of your role, whether it's in your work, your family, your life, the things that are just part of being a human on this planet, but they still create a lot of stress for you. You can write those down. You can also write the people that are stressing you out, that are draining your energy. You can write the things that are just like taking up mental space. So for me, a lot of times it's, unanswered text messages, or it's, the conversation that you need to have with your partner, but you keep thinking about it, but you're avoiding actually having the conversation, right? That energetically, if you keep thinking about it, is draining a lot of your energy. It is creating stress on your system rather than you just actually having the conversation. So pause this right now and write a list of all the things that are stressing you out, from actions to thoughts to projects to experiences. Like, make a list of what is draining you in your life right now. Okay. Now that you have this list, I want you to write another list of all the things that are energizing you, all the things that are filling you up. So once again, this can be activities that are nourishing you. It's like your daily workout, going on a walk in nature. It can be the people that are nourishing you, your partner or the friends that you have in your life, your family, your pet especially, right? It can be the ideas that are inspiring you and filling you up. So really just expand into this. What are all the things that are energizing you, that are filling up your cup, that bring you joy, that bring you bliss? So pause and write that list right now. Okay, so now you have two lists. You have one of the things that are draining you, and you have one of the things that are filling you up. Now I want you to take a look at the list of things that are draining you, and for every single item, I want you to go through it, and I want you to ask yourself the question, how can I creatively support myself in this? What can I change here to make this more supportive for myself? And this might mean that you delegate a task to your partner, or you hire someone to do that task. This might mean that you have the conversation and you actually set a deadline with your partner or your date about that conversation. This might mean that you set up a system for yourself. So as I said, one of my examples is that sometimes I get really overwhelmed by the amount of messages that I receive, because I can feel the energetic pull of the people that have contacted me. And so one of the systems that I put in place to support myself with this is I've created a time where I do like a 10-minute sprint of answering the messages that I have. And so I do that every day, and that allows me to keep up with the messages that I have. It allows me to have a dedicated space and time for them. And it's really creating a system for myself to thrive, to succeed. So go through each item and see, what support can you have? What is really necessary of you? Where can you ask for help here? And think creatively. Ask for creative solutions to the things that are draining you and stressing you out. A lot of this is probably going to be some boundaries work, where you actually need to create more boundaries, and you need to also ask for help and set yourself up for success in that way. As well, creating systems. So something that used to really stress me out was like, I was like, okay, food shopping, what am I going to eat every day and every week? And now I've just created a system for that. And that has made it so much easier. So really go through this, give yourself the space and the time, because, and then the thing with this as well is just focus on one. Implement one today or over this next week. Do not focus on changing all of them at once. that is, once again, that's going to overwhelm you. Like, set yourself up for success. Choose one. Maybe it's the one that seems the easiest to change, and focus there. Or you can also choose which one is going to have the biggest impact on your overall stress levels and your bliss field, right? Which one is actually draining you the most? And maybe that's the most important one to handle first. So you'll just know intuitively what you need to do to support yourself in this. But this practice is going to dramatically and rapidly change your life and help you to, once again, stay in that bliss field, to shift your energy, to transform the things that are stressing you out and draining you. Oh, and that is such a powerful place to be. And now the final piece of this is to look at the things that are filling you up, that are energizing you. And once again, how can you add more of this into your life? Are you doing those things consistently? Can you create more of a habit or a routine around those things? Can you make them even more fun? Are you doing those things every day, or is it once every so often? So once again, setting yourself up for success. As you shift the things that are draining you, you get to add in more of what's supporting you. And once again, you get to be creative here with all of it. So that is your invitation for today, to support you in staying in the bliss field, to staying in the pleasure field, to transforming your relationship with stress, with your life, and really setting yourself up for success. So that way you can increase your capacity for more. It's really eliminating and reducing what's stressing you out, creating systems around that, and then adding more of what's supporting you. So your action step to ground this all in is choose one. Choose one of your stressors to transform today or in the next couple of days, right? Action takers are magic makers. So I really invite you to choose one that you can actually implement today, because get the ball rolling, create the momentum for yourself. And that is going to allow you to keep on thriving and expanding and having fun in the process. And if you want to, I really encourage you to comment on this and share with me, what did you choose to change in your life? What system are you setting up for yourself? How are you changing one of the things that's draining you? That way I can see you, I can support you, we can all celebrate you, and it gives you a little sense of accountability as well. That is going to make this the most fun. And with that, I thank you so much, and I'm sending you so much love. Mwah.